Didn't send it. I sent you the new link. Five. Why is this a 5? 6. Okay, this is the one. Let's look at this. Excuse me. Person, assignment, Boolean. Hello. Can you hear me?
What?
Yo, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm sorry. You know, in my mind, I thought it was 8 p.m. here.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh, you just
so
okay.
I stayed until 8:33. Then I said maybe Paul is still busy with a
Uh,
client.
yeah, it's usually I usually I thought we always have it at 6, right?
Yeah, we always have it at 6. I don't know. Today I think I was just over myself.
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
sitting.
it
That's
is
why
a
I
Sunday.
sent you the note that
Yeah.
but 8:10 I was like, oh, maybe he forgot. Then by 8:33 I said, oh, he must be having a plan. So I'll just sit here if you
Yeah, I
think
actually wasn't I was doing something else. I wasn't checking my
right.
stuff. But
Yeah, it
anyways,
wasn't.
how did your test go?
He hasn't posted anything yet. I've been checking, but
Oh
he had
wow.
said he had sent a message yesterday
Yeah.
uh, in the webpage that the average was 80%.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he said he was going to try to post the grades um, this weekend. So if it doesn't happen tonight, I'm expecting it to be there tomorrow.
Okay. Let me know how you do though.
Yeah,
I'm hoping at least
I'll
the
let you.
average.
I know.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad. I knew it wasn't really that bad of an exam. Like, just good thing you
Yeah.
finished it. So, but for today, did you get a chance? Like, maybe we'll spend some time to like maybe step back and look at like what we didn't cover.
Uh, Actually, I was reading about
Python.
Python because the teacher has already posted the homework.
Oh, you guys already have a homework for Python?
Oh yeah, he did it.
Okay. When is it due?
It's due on Wednesday at 11:59
Okay.
p.m.
We can what I wanted to do because I did send did you see my Python lessons?
Yeah, I download them. I did also download the probability file.
Okay.
I downloaded everything that you sent.
Okay.
Mm.
What I was thinking is maybe like let's because like I want you to not only like use this for the class but maybe like retain the info.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
after like you learn R and now you guys are using Python, right?
Yes.
So like I'm hoping that like maybe you can like use both of them because both of them like I've used those a lot, R and Python, but
Okay,
mostly
good.
Python.
Mm.
But the one thing is like sometimes there's things in Python that you can't do in R, and then other vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like I can. Did you download Python by chance? Like I actually sent you the Anaconda distribution.
Yeah, I was just looking at it like a few minutes before you
Y-
came in.
Yeah, because like has he talked about how to download it yet for you guys?
No, he didn't. He just told us to do it,
Oh,
to
I just told
download
you to
it.
do it, and that's it.
That
I'll show you how to download it. It's really not that bad. And
oh, okay.
are you guys using Jupyter Notebook? Like Jupyter Notebook, does that seem familiar?
No, there's something called XL minor.
What is that?
He said it's in Excel.
Why are you guys using Excel?
I
VBA?
don't know. I don't even know what's going on here right now because now I'm seeing Excel because it says like it's an add-on
What?
in Excel.
You guys are using Python and Excel?
I don't know
That's like weird. I've never heard of that before.
because it said we are using Python, but then as you read the instructions, then it talks about Excel. Click here to add on
To
XL
Python.
minor, and
Okay.
even there is a screenshot of that of
Can
the.
you send me that one? Whatever. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I can send it
I'll
to
look
you.
at that later. I thought you
Yeah,
guys like so you guys are not using Jupyter Notebook?
we are using a textbook called
Okay. Or actually,
uh,
so you guys have a textbook as well? Okay.
yeah, there's an online textbook.
Okay. Is a
So it told us
Python book? Is it a Python book?
the this thing when you read it, it says that it still talks about Excel and Python. So I don't know if Python uses Excel. So I
It can use a lot of languages. It's just
oh
like
really?
that's not usually like something that like people do because like yeah, it could use Excel. I've done that before. It's called like pandas.
I'll send you the syllabus and you will see the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where yeah, in software. under software.
Yeah, you could
Mhm.
actually you could use Excel to like put your files in there, and then Python can read Excel. We'll talk about it like,
Oh,
once we get to it. Like send that to me, and then I'll try to see if I can explain it better.
okay. All right.
But then yeah, like that homework. Can you send me that homework too that you guys have?
I can download it.
Yeah, because for the most part, we don't use like I don't use like Excel for Python. Like I just use because Python itself has like a you can create your own tables within Python.
So it's completely different from R, the way R looks like with the R script and all
Yeah,
that environment.
I can show you just a tad before we do some R.
Okay.
So like if you look over here, so do you see this?
Mm-hmm.
So this is Python. This is just what I've like written in Python. So
Mm-hmm.
like you could actually write like like text in here, and then like there's the code. This is how the code looks like. Like it's inside these things, yeah.
Ah,
And then
gotcha.
you kind of like I mean it's really simple. You just have to like for example, if you want to do like 1 plus 1,
Mm-hmm.
you just do this. It's really simple. Like it does it for you. And then like if you wanted to like what else would there be like that's related to R? Maybe mean. I don't know if mean is one of them. Actually, no, mean might not be one of them. It may be the dot mean. I can open up one that's kind of similar to something that we've done. Let's see.
Okay.
It's
Because in
like
the little introduction, it talks about definitions, types, and sources, dimension, consumption, and trajectories, point of sale, digital panel,
for you guys.
record, time series, invoice, distribution, data mining, architecture, design, and governance.
Do you what is that? Is that the intro to Python?
Yeah, the intro.
Okay. Is that the one that he created, your professor?
Yeah, that is in introduction. I'll send you the introduction, everything.
Okay. Oh, I'll know more once I see like the homework,
Yeah.
because then we'll work with I'm trying to grasp like what type of modules he wants you guys to do. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like so maybe we'll cover how Excel like communicates with Python. I can cover that like if you need to learn it.
Yeah, we can cover that.
But like the basics of it is just really it's not the same as R. It's actually easier than R.
Oh, okay.
But it shouldn't be that bad. Like as long as we probably have to spend more time with it. Like
Yeah, we will. Mm-hmm.
okay. So like what did you wanna go over
Yeah,
the R code?
yeah. Let's do the R codes.
Yeah, just because like I do you remember we didn't talk about how to create a function. This is kind of like what I have right here. So like, let me just zoom in.
You see, I never had a chance to read because of the fact that I didn't access the material until later. So all I
Yeah,
was doing in the beginning was just doing homework, 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 homework. So I never had a chance
yeah.
to read the stuff.
It's a lot of it's a lot of work. That's why like I think right now since you guys are barely starting the next class,
Yeah.
maybe let's spend some time to like tackle the basics. I think this is the perfect time. Maybe like right now
Yes.
today, and then
Something
maybe
over this. Yeah.
maybe
It will
Monday
help
as
me.
well. But then
Yeah. Exactly. So you can keep
okay,
on.
did you get a chance to download this one? This one
Yeah, I
rather.
have it.
The new one I sent.
The new one.
I sent you a
Let
new
me
one.
see. The new one. I downloaded it.
Does it look exactly like this?
Yeah. The art thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like I kind of changed it aside. Does it start with this?
You changed it. It was starting with this thing here.
Okay. Anyways, let's just talk
Yeah.
about it. So like, do you remember that like when you're you in homework 5, it was like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You created a function like that bootstrap function. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like when you're creating a function in R, like I'll talk about it in Python. It's so much easier in Python and there's more flexibility. But I want you to see how it's done in R first and then kind of like compare and contrast in Python. So like, what if you wanted to add two numbers, right? Like this is a function that you would create. Maybe like, if you want to add like 1 plus 1, this is like an example. So I mean, you could just do 1 plus 1, right? You could just do that, right? But this could be anything. Like, so this is just a how you a template. Like, so when you create a function in R, the very first thing you put in here is the name of the function. So this is the name of the function. Okay.
Okay.
And then you learn how to assign things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna assign something to this add nums function, and then you have to type in function. You have to type in function. Okay. Yeah, like all these basics. Just try to remember them. It's like the more you use it, the more you get acquainted with it.
Okay.
So you probably remember this. So inside the function, we put like the inputs, right? Like whatever we're gonna feed the function. So like when you add two numbers, you need two numbers, right? You need an A and a B.
Right.
Yeah. So this can be as many as C, D, whatever, whatever how many inputs you need is up to you. But like that's really like the very first thing is defining the name of the function, and then the inputs, and then the last thing is you need to define the output. So like you have this A and B, and this A and B is supposed to take in numbers, right? Like maybe A equals like 1 and B equals 1, like that. And then like you put them inside here, and then you pretty much do you pretty much create the equation of what you want it to do. Does that make sense? Like you pretty much create the equation that will take in your inputs, and then you put it in here.
So, okay, so that would match. Okay. So the A plus B return, A plus B, is this part of the equation, or this is an output?
It's an output. So anything you put inside return, like you type in return first, anything you put inside here, it's gonna be the output. So like once you call the function, because right now we're creating a function, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever you put inside here, once you call the function, it's gonna do that. It's gonna spit that out. So like here, let me explain. So you created this function, right? This is created, right? And then now I want to use the function. So the function, I'm gonna use it right here. And then how you call out your function is super easy. Whatever the name was, you just call it. And remember, we had this generic A and B. You just put inside whatever A is supposed to be and whatever B is supposed to be. And then
so you just take whatever is in the console and then put it there, call it there.
Yeah, like so my console can be whatever here. Let me clear that out. The very first thing is you don't really have to define anything in the console. You just have to you have to define this first. This is the only thing you have to define. And
so,
then like,
okay, so let me ask you.
Okay.
So on line 8.
Okay. On line 8.
Yeah. Tell me where you stopped typing the adnams.
Where do I what?
Where you stopped typing. Did you type everything, including A and B in bracket, or did you type only up to that line?
So this whole thing is one function.
Okay, got you. Right, that's
yeah.
Okay.
So this whole thing is like how you define it. So I think I want to know though, like, does it make sense why I'm using like A and B instead of like a number?
I assume because you don't know.
It's like when you're creating a function, you want it to be generic, right?
Okay, so you put a generic information.
Yeah, and then the reason why is because you want it to take in any value, right?
Okay.
The reason why you want it to be like X, Y, or A or B, because you want it to take in any value. It's a function. You're creating a function.
Got you.
Okay. So that's how you define it. But then here in 11, this is how you call it. This is like after you define the function. Like for example, I created this function, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can actually go in my console and just use that function. So like what was the name of it? Add nums.
Add nums.
Okay. And then what did I have to feed it? A and B.
A B.
Okay. So the A is the first thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna type in 1 for A. This is how you do it. So the first number
Okay.
is A. And then what was the second number? Is it B?
B. Yeah, what's B?
So my second number is B. So what do you think this is gonna do?
It's going to add them up.
Okay, so it's pretty simple, right? It's gonna add it up, and then it's 2.
Right.
Yeah, does that make sense? This is like a very simple one, but this is how it works.
Ah.
So like maybe let's do something. I mean, it's not hard, but like maybe something that R doesn't know. Maybe like the area of a circle,
Mm-hmm.
pi r squared, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe the area of a circle. Let's do or area of a rectangle, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, what is the area of a circle? It's pi r squared, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So pi is already built in. Like pi, R already knows what pi
What
is.
pi is.
Pi, like you just type in pi, it's just a constant. So we could use that. What else do we need though?
We need the R.
We need R, right? The radius.
Yeah, the radius.
Okay. So if we need so we have pi, we need R. Do we need anything else? We don't, right?
Yeah.
We only need one, so we only have one input. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the other one, it's kind of like whatever, you kind of like think to yourself, like, I'm going to create a function and I'm going to name my function circle area, something descriptive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next question is, what are the inputs I have to feed this function? Pi is already a constant. So there's only one input, right? It's only R. So that's what all your inputs you put inside this function thing.
Okay.
And then, so what's the next thing? I mean, I guess it's the last thing. What's the last thing you have to do?
So then now that you know pi,
Yeah.
so you will bring the 3.14.
Yeah. So that's pi, right? I just type pi.
Search pi.
And then you multiply it. And then, whatever the equation is, you just put inside here, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's all you have to do. Like, this is how you create the functions. Like, you know your input, you name the function, and then you put whatever you want it to output, you put it inside return.
Okay, got you.
It's simple, right? Like, that's really what it is.
Oh.
And then, so how do you use it? The same thing with add nums. So how do we use the function? So I'm going to define it. So how do we use the function? I'm going to type it over here. How do we use the function?
So if you use the function, you will put
The name, right?
the name.
You only need the name. That's all you do. So like after you define it, you named it for a reason. So that's the name that you call out. And then like, how do we use it? Like, so how many inputs does it have?
Inputs would be 2,
For this guy.
but it can be 1. Like for the pi, it's only 1 because it's the radius we're looking for.
Yeah. So man, let's make this up. Like maybe it's like 10, 10 whatever, feet, inches, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we put 10 in here, right?
Yeah.
And then it's gonna do the return. It's gonna give me the return once I run this. That's it. Pretty simple, but it could get complicated. That's like create, because like the reason why you want to learn how to create a function is because like what if you like your professor or someone, your client wants you to do something, and then like there's no built-in function, right?
Yes.
And then you have an equation, but you don't have a built-in function. Are you gonna manually input it? You don't want to do that because like you're gonna keep on repeating it.
Right.
And for this one, you could change it. It's so easy. You just change the inside. You just change the inside, and it does it for you.
Okay. So this is the number. That's the inside is the number we can tweak
Yeah.
depending on what we are looking for.
Add nums. You could do like 4 and 5. Like, see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like very simple, but then you can make it complicated. The
Gotcha.
power is in your hands, right?
Yes. This is very true.
I mean, that's really what the coding is. Like once you learn the basics, you can like go all out. Okay, so that's functions. I think the one thing that like we didn't talk about a lot was like how there's actually vectors and like how to subset them, like maybe a
Yes.
frame.
Mm-hmm.
We never talked about it because like we pretty much jumped the gun and talked about data frames. And then like
Yes.
when you don't talk about vectors and how to like filter them, it's really difficult because then you know what I mean though, right? And when you're like, for example, here, let me output this guy first.
Okay. Cool.
So we have this guy, and this is just a another data frame. Or let me see if it's in here. Oh, SB. It's just another one of these, another data frame.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is just like random. There's an ID of people and then female. I think it's 0 if it's male and it's 1 if it's a female. I think that's what it is. And then it just tells them the how many people. The information here doesn't really matter. It's more for like we have something here and then I want to work with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter what's in here, but let's try working with this by subsetting or filtering.
Okay.
So I didn't really talk about it, but like when you want, for example, you have this data frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to know like the labels, the column names.
Mm-hmm.
It's important for you to know the column names because like you're gonna need them to like maybe what if I only wanted this column or this column, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how you do that is you type in names, and then like whatever you named your data frame, you put it inside, and then it gives it to you right here. So these are all the column names, right?
Oh, okay.
But right, this is all the column names up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so now let's try to use it. What I mean by use it is like, what if like for this first one, what if I wanted to only, and this is how you filter it. And what I mean filter is like I want to only show like certain columns, and it's important to do that because as you've seen, in homework, so we need to only look at like a certain column, right?
Right.
It's not like everything. Like you want to reduce what you're gonna like do some statistics in.
Mm-hmm.
So like for this one, number 22, this is what I'm gonna do. I want like my question is how can I find like a data frame where it's gonna print all the rows, right? It's gonna print all the rows,
Right.
but only the columns that I want printed is only column 1, column 7, and column 8. This is how you do it. So let's look at what column 1 is. So you remember I printed the column names?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's for columns.
So which one is column 1? Column 1 is
Column
ID.
1 ID.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is read. And then write is the 8, right?
Yeah. So read and write.
Yeah. So what I want to do here, this is how you do it. Like, what if you wanted to print out like the ID and then read and write or whatever number here? You obviously need to know what they are first.
Right.
And then you can just count from 1. Like the one thing I want you to distinguish is in R, you start with 1, but then in Python you start with 0. It's gonna be confusing, but that's just how it is.
So Python will start with 0.
You start with 0. Like for example, in Python, ID would be index 0. but in R you start
Ah.
in R you start with 1. So I mean, I guess yeah, that's just something to remember. So you start with
Thanks for
1,
letting me know.
huh?
Thanks for letting me know.
Oh yes, yeah,
In advance.
yeah. Eventually, like all these small rules, yeah. There's like these are like the small rules that we need to get acquainted with, because like if you didn't know it was 0, then you're gonna be off by 1. So yeah, like 1. So let's look at this. What does this output first? Okay, so it's what we
So
expected.
that's from 1, 7, and 8.
Yeah. So ID, read, and write.
ID, read and write.
Yeah. And then there's something else that maybe you can ask me. Does this make sense? Like so when I assign it to this guy, how I did that is I had to actually put in the name of the data frame first, right?
Okay. All right. So then, so the HSB3, you just came up, you just made up that one, right?
Yeah, because for the most part when you're trying to edit these things,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to overwrite your own, the original one.
Uh,
You want to create like different versions of your data frame.
oh, yeah. That, okay. Got you.
So this is just a variable. I'm assigning it to this variable because I don't want to overwrite my old one.
Okay. So the HSB3 is the variable.
SSB3 is a variable, yeah.
All right, let me write that down. And then the actual file is just HSB2 dot small.
Yeah. So we start with this one. We start with the original one, and then like let's try to understand what's going on here. So like I have this data frame. I want it to be like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me to go from the big guy to the small guy, I have to use these
Mm-hmm.
brackets. So after I do the data frame, I have to use these brackets. So these brackets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like when you put in the brackets after the data frame, what you put in there is gonna be kind of like it's like a filtering. What you put in there is filtering the data frame. They call it subsetting, but it's filtering is a better
So
word.
filtering and subsetting is one of the same thing.
It's the same thing, really. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
whatever you impart in it. Like, what is it? What are you trying to do?
yeah, because the teacher's using filtering.
Yeah, subsetting, filtering. Yeah, it's the same thing. And then so when you do that, let me see. Like, so there's a comma here, right?
Yeah,
Right? There's a comma here, right?
right.
Okay. So anything on the left of the comma is actually the rows. It's the rows that you have.
Oh,
If you leave it blank, it's gonna print all the rows from beginning 1 to end. I think there's only 25 rows.
okay.
If you didn't leave it, what if you want it to be like from only 1 to 5, you can do that.
Then I'll just have up to number 5.
Yeah, but you see what I did
Ah,
here? You see what I did?
ah, got you now.
So
Okay.
like this is what you have to do. On the left of the comma is the row index. Like this is how you slice the rows. They sometimes call it slicing the rows or columns.
Okay.
So like how do you slice the rows? I mean actually like let's not talk about slicing the rows yet. So like that's understandable, right? Like when you don't put a number there, that's everything.
Yeah, then it gives you all the rows.
Okay, and then on the right of it, so left of the comma is the rows. On the right, what do you think is on the right?
So on the right, those are the columns.
Yeah. So on the left is the rows, on the right is the columns.
And you have chosen column 1, 7, and 8.
Yeah. And that's how you do that. You have to put this C, it means character. Yeah, you have to put this guy in because it won't work if you don't put like this C and then this, and put these guys inside. And then there's terminology for it, but then just say like, okay, this is what you have to do.
Let me ask you,
Okay.
uh, why do you have this bracket here?
So which one? This
This
guy
one right here.
or this
No,
guy?
on the left hand side online.
This guy?
No, the very far left or to your right. Let me say your right. Yeah, that one.
This guy?
Yeah, that one right
You,
there.
you don't need it actually. You don't need that one. That was
Okay.
just there so for me to see better what I'm doing. You don't actually need that extra parentheses.
Okay, just to be sure. Okay.
This is all you need. This is all you need really.
Okay, so that's C. So I put it. So I want to make sure I put them right. So I will put. Let me see. I'm gonna put. Okay, so I put it like that. Then the C, the
Okay.
combine is for the columns only.
Yeah, for this one is the columns. Uh, there's another way. So is this one make sense? The one.
Yeah, like that makes more. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I understand this one better.
Okay. And then and then another way that maybe you want to, obviously this one you use this C thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess let me just define it so that I'm not saying you've heard of vectors before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you define a vector, this you have to put this guy, this C thing. This is a vector. And then and the reason why you do this is because you want only certain columns. You only want certain columns. But
Okay.
but then the next question is, what if you don't care to skip any column? You want columns from 1 to 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you could just do this 1 to 4,
Okay.
but you put the colon right here. So 1:4.
Okay.
Because if you do 1:4, it's the same thing. This is what
Okay. So you can use the column to
yeah, you could do like
or to call one.
1 to 10. You could do that as well.
Okay. I get that one.
The reason why we did the C vector thing is because so you could put like numbers without knowing the interval, like separate numbers.
Okay, got you.
But this one is a shortcut if you don't care if you're gonna use all the columns. Same
Okay.
idea though, right? Like it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's gonna show one, two,
Yes.
three. And which one was that one?
Mhm.
ID, female, race, and
Will
SES.
raise.
Yeah. So if um if you did that, oh actually, how come that didn't show up? Oh, I see. I forgot about that. if
All right.
if you actually if you want to show it a shortcut for it instead of instead of like typing it again
Mm-hmm.
is just putting these parentheses. If you put the parentheses, it's gonna show it.
Oh, okay.
Like over here,
Okay.
it's gonna show it. Like if you don't put it,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't put it, like you have to type it again. It's just gonna show that, and then I mean it's up to you, and then you do this. But if you put the parentheses, it's just gonna
Mm-hmm.
show. It's gonna show it. So okay, all right.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one. So those are column filtering, right?
All right. Mm.
And then the same thing goes for the rows. Obviously, you can apply the same thing for the rows, right?
Okay. So for the rows, then they will be
You put numbers to the left,
numbers to the left.
and then this empty, on the right of the comma, it's empty. What does that mean?
It means all columns.
Good, good, good. Yeah, that's what that means. Yeah. So like with this is a shortcut. So it's showing 1 to 10, right, for the
Mm-hmm.
rows and everything, which is now you know how to subset it with rows. You know how to subset it with the columns. That's like really ultimately like one of the nicest things that you can do, because then and then besides subsetting rows and columns with numbers, you could also like now the filtering actually comes in. Now you can filter. So subsetting is kind of like this. Filtering is this. So like, what if, what I wanted to do is only show the column or the entries where SES is 1. So here's the next one. So for this next one, I'm trying to only show the entries where SES, this guy right here, this guy right here, is 1. So all you have to do is, and then you obviously want to show everything. So showing everything, you already know that, right? You have to put in the nothing on the right of the comma, right?
Yeah, if you want to show everything on the column, you leave it blank.
Yeah, you leave it blank on the right of the comma. But this one make sense on the left of the comma.
Okay, this equal sign, can you say
What does it
something
mean?
about? Mhm.
It's so for example, what if I wanted to put 2 here? Let's see what happens, right?
Mhm.
Okay, look at the console. So I put 2. What happened?
Uh,
They're all 2 now, right?
yeah,
And then like I'm gonna put back 1. What happened?
then it's all ones.
So what does that really mean? What does the equal sign mean?
So you are picking just a particular value.
Yep, yeah. So like, what if I wanted to ask myself, and then like, I only want the data to show the data that I want to show. I only want the rows that give me that fit in where SES equals 1 is equivalent to 1, or SES
Okay,
is equivalent to 2.
got you.
Someone could ask you that. Someone could ask you, I only want people with a math score. Maybe this. Let's do something practical. Maybe a math score, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what if maybe this is out of 100. I'm guessing this is out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
So people that scored, that didn't fail, right?
Yeah.
So so 75 is not failing. It's less than that. Maybe it could be, but let's see what happens.
Okay.
Oh look, there's only is that right? There's only 1.
Yeah, only one person got 75.
Or let's say greater than 75. There's no one. Well, that's really weird. Let me see. Let me see this again. Because like I saw numbers that were.
But then there's a bunch.
Oh, there's a lot of people that failed.
Yeah, a lot of people failed that class. That was a very bad class.
Yeah. See, so you see it? All the math scores are greater than 50, right? Or equal to,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. So this is about show me the row where that number. It's all I want to see.
Which one?
The this equal or or greater than or equal to sign.
Science?
So go to row
For which one?
for science.
Okay, and then you want it to be greater than or less than?
Greater than 50.
Greater than 50?
Greater than or equal to 50.
Okay, there you go. They're all greater than and equal to 50. That's how you do it. That
Oh,
makes sense. That makes sense now, right?
yeah.
It's just like, yeah, like these are very important. Like knowing how to like say if you're gonna do like data analytics,
Mm-hmm.
like just looking at the data because you don't want to be working with like everything, right? You can't work with everything.
Got you.
You have to like make it small, something you can work with. And
Okay.
then like that's only one. That's only one. I think there's a way for you to besides like only having one, you can actually have more than one criteria. Um, I'll talk about that next. It's this guy right here.
Okay.
Like so this criteria gives you like what if you wanted to have science people greater than 50 and then math people greater than 50? Or, or like people that have a good writing score and reading and then really low math. That usually happens.
Oh, yeah.
or, like,
That's practical.
or high math and low writing or reading.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You could ask those questions, and then I'll show you in the next in this next line. But there's another thing here. Let me see this one. This one's a little bit difficult to explain, but this one, uh, what I'm trying to do here is I wanna subset my data frame
Mm-hmm.
so that like this ID column this ID column right here,
Mm-hmm.
only has 12, 20, 195, 48. If you look over here, only has these guys.
Why do you sometimes have the
This
vector
thing,
sign and sometimes you don't have the vector sign?
you don't have it. You only
This
have
one
the
has it.
you only have the vector sign if you don't have a particular like pattern.
Okay.
Like if you want to pick out values like 12, 48, or like 1, 7, and 8. But if you look at the syntax right here, so everything in the rows, right? Everything in the rows,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a syntax. So what we're trying to do here is I want to look at ID, and then you have to put this thing here, which is like sometimes weird. You put it like a percent in and percent,
Mm-hmm.
and then
What does it mean?
what does it mean? It means like I want to look at the ID, and then the ID that I want has to have 12, 48, 86, 11, 20, and 195. So that's what's showing up. Maybe you could even change this. Maybe you want 11 instead, or like some other one. Say like it's only 11, 48. Oh, the 11 shows up twice. Okay,
Yeah,
let me.
it's there twice. Maybe you can
There
put 24.
there you go. Oh, there's no 24. There's no 25.
25.
Maybe 94. Okay, okay, let's not mess with it because I don't actually know what's in there.
Yeah, let's put what is actually in the data set.
But
So
like,
there
you
is
get what this is doing, right? Like you want to look at ID, and what you put in a vector is what you're trying to look for. You're trying to
this is the
filter
ID that has 12, 20,
all of
40,
this. Yeah.
86, and 195. Yeah, all those are there.
Yeah, like for you could ask a question like, "Oh, I want only a person." Maybe like you only want one, right? Maybe
Mhm.
you wanna ask yourself like, "Is there a person here with an ID of 12?" Oh, look, there is one. So it's always like I always find this like, can you like because you know how the hardest part is always like transferring the question into code. That's like the
Right.
hardest. Like someone answers your question and you don't know how to use code to answer them. That's the hardest part. And then we're trying to practice that here. It's like, what questions can you ask? And they're pretty helpful, right? Like knowing these things now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's move on to this next one. So this next one right here is a. Do you remember we on line 25? We talked about like maybe having one criteria, right? Having one criteria, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you only have like one criteria. You only went to look for science. So what if you wanted two? You know, because someone could ask you, I want the people with SES of 3 and they're a male. SES of 3 and they're a male. I think male means 0. Male means female is 0.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, someone can ask you that, right?
Right.
And then so that's it. Like you've seen these questions a lot. Like but not in this context, but in other ways. Like they give you two things, and you have to like tell them how many there are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could even I think is there I forgot how do you count in R again? Like how do you know how many rows you have? Is it n rows? Yeah, I think it's n rows. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you know
and
how
equals rows.
I think it's n row. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is n rows. So like like the question is how many people are have SES equals 3 and they're a male? You could just wrap this whole thing in n row,
Ah,
right? You could just put n row right here, right at the
okay.
beginning of it. Just wrap the whole thing with n row and tell me how many, because it's pretty much like you have this thing right here, right? You already have the data frame. You filtered it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you filtered it because you were asking yourself a question, and then now the question is how many people fit this category? So you just put n row, and that's it. There's 7 people that fit this category. Is it coming through now? It's a lot of it. A lot of this is like picking and choosing what you need. Like,
Okay.
yeah, you. I mean, that's why I gave you all this so that, like, when someone asks you a question, you could just go back to it, like, oh, okay, this is the code for it. So let me ask you, like, what's another question you can ask?
Okay. Before we ask another question,
Okay.
why don't we use that percentage in percentage for this particular one, for number
Uh,
27?
oh, because these are actually numbers, I think. These are actually numbers. I think this.
Oh.
Do you remember that thing where like this thing is kind of like a factor? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like a factor. It's like a string.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you could have done. Let me see if you could do that. And but the thing is, there's two. That's why there's two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like probably like the best way I would do this. There's always multiple ways. Is you just have to use width. Like if you have more than one category,
Mm-hmm.
you,
I
you have
like
to
that one.
you have to use width. It's really simple. It's easier. It's
Yeah,
not.
I like the width because it's very simple. It's like real time.
It's like it's what you would do in like if you were doing because it makes sense. Like
If
with
you are talking to someone, that's how you will talk.
yeah, you're gonna like Python a lot because the way you would talk is the way you code it actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like in other
I've
like
been really, really scared. You have no idea. I've been really scared about this Python thing. When I saw it,
when you
when
saw
I
it,
saw
it
his
freaked out.
introduction and then he mentioned R, I almost collapsed. I said,
Oh
"Oh
my,
my
you
God."
shouldn't. It's like the I mean yeah, like Python seems scary, like at first. Like when you we'll actually well yeah, we have time. I'll kind of preview to it. It's not bad. It's really not bad. Like I said, like the way you talk is the way you code.
Is the way you call it.
Yeah. And all these like, weird syntax, they all disappear. Python really makes life easy and more streamlined. You don't have to like it's like gibberish, like why do you put this percent sign in percent? Like what the heck is that?
Mhm.
In Python, you never see something like this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So anyway, so this makes sense now, right? Does this make sense?
Yeah, so now it makes sense.
And yeah, like of course you could ask yourself, maybe math is high, right? Obviously these things. You can ask yourself if greater than 50 and they're like a male. So male people that have that didn't fail. So that's another question. Usually that's a lot of questions get asked, like their gender, and there's only one female. That's funny.
Mhm.
Okay, and then here's another one. So let me see. Actually, let me see if this is even somewhat different. So let's see. Right, right greater than 50. Now, actually, let's this is another one where you could actually create. I'll just cover one of them and we can skip the other ones. So like the subset, you could use subset right here.
Mhm.
And then when you use subset, like what ends up happening is it kind of replaces what you did here. You know how like you had to put the name like this and then with a square bracket,
Mhm.
with a square bracket, right?
Yeah.
Or like right here rather with a square bracket.
Mhm.
You don't like you could either do this or type in subset and then it's easy. All you have to put inside is the data frame, the original data frame,
Data frame.
and then the column name, and then greater than 50. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing as
Okay.
what we have like on I think this guy right
Is
here.
that same as the line 25?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. But look at the here. I'm gonna show you this. So this is what we have, and then this is what we have. It's the same thing, right? It's pretty much the same thing, right? 121, 121. Yep. And then so those two things of doing like the same thing. Pick your poison, pick your weapon, I guess. If you like
Yeah.
this, use
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Mhm.
If you don't like the thing is like this one, which one is easier to remember? I think this one's like shorter.
Yeah, that one is shorter, but it's good to know both.
It's, this one is the most common one though. like the one I'm highlighting right now. This is the
Yeah,
most common
I
one.
think the upper one is more
Because this subset thing, like maybe you don't remember, but I don't know. It makes more sense. I don't know. Like this one makes more sense to me because then it's telling me go look in the original. Give me the columns. This is the columns that are
okay.
greater than 50.
For science and for people who have earned 50 or higher.
Yeah. And then this one, you don't even know like if you're working with rows or columns. Right?
Yeah, of course, the other one, the top one, the line 25,
You know what you're doing.
yeah, it's you are dealing with columns.
Yeah. So that's why I like this old one
The
better.
top one, yeah.
These other ones, if you have, if you want to remember it, that's good. Sometimes it's always good to remember like the bare bones one, the most basic one.
Okay.
Okay, so you have all of this. Let's actually let's try to cover like some of the, like the other statistics that you've learned so far, but kind of like summarize it. Um, so like you remembered how to do this, right? The tidyverse.
I
And then
I know how to type it in my R.
do you have it? I think you have this one.
Mm,
Is that the
well, this thing, I didn't know how to create the the variable with it.
which one?
Line 43.
You don't have this one, or like you want to learn it?
Yeah, I want to learn it now.
Okay, so like just type in obviously run tidyverse first, and then you run tidyverse, and
Mm-hmm.
then the very first thing when you define like this guy, the my data, this is just the variable, right, of my data frame.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's actually two versions of this guy. I don't know if you saw it. There's one with like a dot and one without a dot with this guy. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
There's there's one with like underscore and one with a dot. It doesn't matter though. Like the one with the dot is actually built in. The one with the underscore is part of tidyverse.
And the dot is for what?
It's the same thing. The dot one you don't need to load in tidyverse. If you're
Or
gonna
if
use,
I do the dot, then I don't need to load the tidyverse.
you don't need to. The one in tidyverse is with the underscore. But like that's just small things. So okay, that's how you do it, right? And then you put in
Okay,
your,
so dot no underscore. There's no need for tidyverse, right?
if it's a dot, no need for tidyverse.
If with the dot, you don't need tidyverse,
You don't. But if you have an underscore, you need
then I
tidyverse.
need the tidyverse.
Yeah. But like, so you know how this works, right? You just put in your source like website.
The entire thing.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Like you look online here. I'll show you. Like if you ever seen like, because you could actually look for this on like anywhere. Like how it looks is really. Can you see this?
Ah.
This is actually what it is. Like everything is separated like this. It looks really weird, right? It's separated by a comma. Okay, and that's why it's called CSV, comma separated values. Comma separated values. Anyways, so you put that in there, and then you read it. After you read it, you put it inside, right?
Okay.
So okay, let's put it inside my data, and then let's actually view it. So this is what I have. This is a pretty common data frame or data set. It's about like it doesn't really matter if what it is because we're just gonna use this one. But these are the column names. And
Yeah.
then here and the variety is like the type of a flower. It's this is a flower that's like. So you're measuring like different lengths, widths, and lengths and widths of petals, and depending on that, you can get the type of the flower. That part doesn't matter, but that's just the context.
Okay.
And then so you've already learned this. How do you do the mean? You just type in mean, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like that, and it gives you the mean. And then the part where like, what if there's a there's a missing data. Do you remember? There's
Yeah,
times
that
when
was the is.na.
yeah. So this right here, I put this in here because sometimes your data has like missing rows, and how you can tell if it has that is you just type this, any, and is NA, and then my data sepal length, or you know what this is. It's gonna look at
Yes.
your column.
Mm-hmm.
And then if this tells you it's false, that means like you don't have any NAs. So there's nothing in here.
Oh, okay.
But everything has something in it. And then like like sometimes when you have there is a missing data there,
Mm-hmm.
what ends up happening is when you do the mean, it gives you NA. I think that was like one of those one exam question, I think. I forgot what it was. I forget already. It was like there was an NA. So how you try to get rid of the NA is you put NA dot RM equals true.
Oh, yeah, that part I never understood.
Yeah, like it's exactly the same thing. You put in the mean, but then the second thing you put is NA dot RM equals true. So that if there is a missing data, in this case there isn't one. If there is a missing data, it doesn't give you NA as the answer. Because if there was a missing data, it's gonna give you NA. It won't give you a number for the
Oh,
mean.
so if you don't want to see any NAs, then you put this,
You put
and
NA.
then
This means like NA remove. RM means remove. So
okay, got you.
NA that remove yeah,
Mm-hmm.
equals true. So remove my NAs.
Equals true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then same with the median. You already know how to do the median, right? And then there's actually another one that I think I didn't see this a lot is what if you wanted the mode? Do you remember the mode? Like, do you remember what a mode is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The frequency.
Yeah, the number of times.
Yeah, number of times something happens.
Yeah, like so I don't know if there's actually a built-in for that. So I went to look for it and it was like there's this guy, but you have to like obviously install and do this.
Or so you have to install that one
Yeah. If you wanted to ask
before.
yourself and then someone asks you a question like, oh, what is the mode? This is what you do. Three of these guys.
Okay, so you start from there.
Yeah. And then when you run it, it says there's the mode is 5 for the length.
Now the MFV, did you just come up with it because of the name of the data, or is it something that
It's the function. This is the function name.
is the function?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the mode function.
Yeah. Mode 5. I forgot what the
Oh,
F and V stands for. So,
MFV is mode function.
like I said, in Python, it's not going to be this complicated.
Oh boy.
It's probably going to put in Python. I think it's like mode. What it's
Okay,
supposed to be.
gotcha.
Okay, and then obviously,
Excuse me.
oh bless you. Like the other one, the other one is min and max, right? You could also
Mm-hmm.
do min and max, and then like range. You've already like range, and then, like we also learn about quantile.
Let me grab my allergy medication. It's
Okay.
yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, it's the allergy. It's the season. I got fall and spring allergies. Okay.
Fall allergies.
Yeah, fall and spring. Anytime
Oh
these
my
things are
goodness.
falling
Is
off.
that Benadryl?
This is Claritin.
Oh, Claritin. Yeah. My
Mhm.
friend also has the allergies as well.
Seasonal allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I got that.
Like every day actually. Nah, it's good. Okay. So this is just a kind of like a whirlwind of what we've learned. So you learned about quantile, right? Remember quantile?
Mm-hmm.
It gives you all of the minimum, the maximum, 25th, the median or mean, and then the 75th one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this question about IQR. Do you remember what IQR stand for?
No, but I remember it was there.
Intermediate quantile. I think that's what it means.
Ah.
I think that's what it means, IQR. But like that's a typical question. So like when I think intermediate quantile, I think it's just a difference between is it your difference between the oh yeah, it is. It is the different You know the intermediate quantile is just the difference between your 75 and then 25th.
The yeah, 25, the 25th and the 75th.
Yeah, I mean you could either use IQR or just use quantile and then use those values and subtract them. And then you also have this guy variance, obviously var and SD, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what this is. Yeah, that's not covered, that one. That's just sampling the. Okay, let's there's actually one, you've learned about summary, like when you have summary. Now there's actually this other command, stat this description.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you run this guy,
Mm-hmm.
you have to run past text first.
Ah.
It gives you everything. Look, it gives you everything: min, max, range, sum, median, mean, standard error, confidence interval, everything, right? Var, standard deviation,
Efficient
coefficient
variance.
variation. This was actually
Wow.
way better, right, than the other guys.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's one that it's just a complete descriptive statistics. I think that's like the most used if you want to use it. Okay, now let's actually talk about. I actually sent you something about dplyr and like titer.
Yeah. I saw
Just
it.
just go read that one. I didn't want to cover that because it's a lot of stuff.
Vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can go over it tomorrow
yeah,
morning.
yeah. When you have time, just ask me if there's something there. But like
Mm-hmm.
one of the ones that I like is for dplyr
Mm-hmm.
is it allows you to do this summary thing. This guy right here, the group by. You could use group by, right? And then have you learned how to
Yeah,
use group by
I'm
already?
not conversant with goodbye.
Okay, okay. So that's why I wanted to cover this because like slowly, so that when
Mm.
obviously now you know how to do the filtering a little bit, right?
Yes. Mm.
And the other thing is using dplyr commands. So there's this guy, and then pipelining. When you do pipelining, you have to do what I want to accomplish here first. And let me just show it first. Actually, maybe I could just here you go. That's better. I don't want to like go to another. So if you do this, my data filter, this is just what I want to put this new data frame in. So this is what you
Mm-hmm.
have to type first. Every time you're using all these like other dplyr filters, is I want to put something like I want to define the summary, the new variable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then my source, my original data frame is my data,
Mm-hmm.
and then I put this pipeline because whatever I put down here is gonna be a bunch of code that's gonna filter this guy.
Um,
So I want to create maybe a summary, and then what this does summarize is like for all my. Let me see if I can show you the my data first. My data. So my data is just so that you know what we're is this guy, right?
mm-hmm.
And then when I put summary, it's gonna count all of these guys. It's gonna count all of them. Like, and as you can see, if you do like this n, see like there's only one row here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I put count and then this n without nothing, this just means like count how many rows I have. And this and then and this is
Oh.
why I'm doing this because I want to actually create a summary of like the whole thing, the mean of the whole thing, and standard deviation. This one probably doesn't. And if you look over here, what does this whole thing mean? This mean you're actually creating a new column here, right? When you're doing this guy, this dplyr,
Mm-hmm.
you're creating a new column. I'm calling it mean, and then in there, I want to do the mean of the sepal length.
So in other words, you could create and give it maybe a different name other than mean.
Yeah, you could technically like it all depends on what you're trying to look for. Like, what's the question being asked? So maybe
Okay.
like you want the sepal width. You could
Mm-hmm.
do that one, right? Sepal width.
Yeah.
Or here, you could actually create your own layer. Maybe we'll do something like this. Sepal, like this guy, right?
Yeah. I think let's do that one.
There's like so many things you can do. So sepal width, and then maybe you want more of these guys. Don't forget the comma. There's a comma here that sometimes people forget. So
Uh,
sepal length, and then maybe mean of sepal length, and then NA. I
yeah.
always put this as
Otherwise, you can just use mean and then equals mean and then you do it. Or if it's a standard deviation, you can just say standard deviation and
you,
then you do your standard deviation.
yeah, you could do that, and then like for the one I'm doing right now is like a specific one. If you want to
Yeah, the
look,
specific one is on the right.
yeah. So let's try running
Okay.
this one. So if you run this one, it's only gonna show me the ones I've already created, which is so like sepal length, mean would be this guy, SD of oh I misspelled this, and
Yeah,
and
you
then
call it spinning.
and then mean a sepal width is this guy. So does this one make sense? It's
Yes.
you just the
Yeah.
thing is
Now you
it looks complicated, but like it's really not. You just have to understand what's happening.
right.
So like
And
within
now
this,
even if you put it like mean, then I'll understand still.
yeah, like if you do this thing, this is the code for I want to know the whole thing. Like within each column, I want to know like a summary. So that this one makes sense. The other one that maybe that you want to do is what if you want to group them by
So
like
the okay, let me just take you back a little bit.
okay,
So the count equals in
this guy.
line 68.
Okay.
Can you say it in plain language?
Count equals n. What this is it's gonna count all your rows. This is accounting for all your rows, and we only
Okay, cool.
the
Yeah,
reason
that's
why the reason why we're doing that is because this what you want to accomplish here is I want to create the mean of all my rows, right?
okay, cool.
You
That's what I
could
want.
take. I think you could actually put a number here if you wanted to.
Well, you can leave it like that.
Let me see if you could put a number because if you put a number there, this is n function. Because what if you don't want to take the whole thing? You know.
Oh, if you don't want all the rows, so if, let's say you just want the
The
mean.
same kind of similar to what we did before on the other
Ah,
one.
okay, got you.
Because there's a way for you to it's always good to ask those questions because someone might ask you.
Hmm.
Or you could just extend, let's see, one, two.
That's rows 1 to 10. And I want
Let's
the
see.
mean, the standard deviation.
It's not really. It's not that one.
It's not down.
What if? Because that question in the current group. Oh, is it first? Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe it's first. Let me see. With min sepal with. I know there's first and last. Or is it head or tail? There's also head and tail. Oh, wait, hold on. And what if we just put 10 in here? R is always like very hard to make sense of it. I think the best thing is just you just have to put the count in there if you want to do the whole thing. Let's just go
Okay. So
because like that's
this is
counting everything. I know it's
okay.
hard to like take in sometimes, but it's just one of those like if you ever need to count everything, just put in count n
Okay, cool.
because we're doing that for all of them actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Because
that's what I wanted to know, the meaning of that, putting it that way.
but then like you could all there is a way to make it so that you don't have to account for everything. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But at least
Okay.
I know what that thing means now.
Okay. So like whatever the so like this other one, maybe let's
Mm-hmm.
take a look at this one. So this is the output of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes someone can ask you like what if there's a category you want to group them by? Like maybe like gender, or what's another one? Types of food,
Yeah,
something like
gender,
that.
subject.
Subjects, like you could group like this is the reason why you use group by,
Ah,
right? It's a group by. Like this
okay.
one,
So
this one,
I've not been knowing what to use it for.
yeah, you use it to like, for example, you know already how to count like the means and then like kind of like if you wanted to filter your data, you know that, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then there's another question that you could ask, like say, what if I want to group them by a category? You can't do that with the other guys that we've learned. You can't do that.
Oh,
You have to use group by. And then whatever you put inside, you could group this by like two things or three things or four things. In this case, if you look at this, there's only one categorical variable, right?
yeah. It's this one.
But there's other ones, like right? There's not just one for like other ones. There's like more than one.
Okay.
But in this case, this is what we're doing. I think this next one I'll show you how you do that. So you just add like you look at this guy. It's kind of similar to what we had before, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? This guy. This is the only difference, right?
Okay.
And then like maybe obviously
Yeah, you can leave it like that. Now I know what it is.
it's easier to see what it is though if you
Yeah.
um if you do this. Like so like if you wanted to do that like for each one, that makes sense, right?
Right.
So
So
the only thing
now,
you have to add is this group by, and it really changes the way your data looks. It gives you more like insight. Like I guess if you wanted to like ask a question,
mm-hmm.
oh, for all my cytosas, what's the mean sepal length? You know, and now you can give that answer.
Ah,
Okay. Okay. Now let's try see if you can actually do something. This is a different data set. So that was only one category, right?
mm-hmm.
This next one is two categories. So let's take a look at what this guy is first. Let's actually view it here. So this next one is about tooth growth. So this is our data right here. So this is our data right here. So I guess this is like the length of the tooth growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy is it looks like it's supplement. I don't know what this VCOJ said. OJ orange juice. And then dose is like whatever dose that you need, I guess. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. What we're trying to do here is we're gonna try use group by for two categories. So it's really simple. Like all you have to do is whatever column that you want to group them by, you just put
Mm-hmm.
it inside group by, and let's see what this does. It's gonna be very similar to what we had with the other guy. But I think this right here, just knowing this is gonna be really good in the end. Okay, I don't like it when it does that. When you do this view thing, you know how like when you don't have it, there's actually if you just do this, it's easy because you don't have to switch screens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you take a look at this, we group them by the supplier maybe or sup and then the dose. So both of these guys. And for
Mm-hmm.
each one of them, it counts at how many is in each one. How many is in each one. So if you put this guy, like now it does it in a different way, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
do, if you actually put count here, as with like all these other guys,
Mm-hmm.
it gives it so that for each category, it will count how many you have in there. That's how you put that guy in there.
Oh, okay.
Like how many you have in each category when you group them.
Okay.
Instead of like maybe you doing like us, the other way is if you remember we filtered it, and after we
Mm-hmm.
filtered it, you get like you do n row, right?
Right.
It's the same thing, but this kind
N
of,
equals row. Mm-hmm.
yeah, this makes it like more lively, like it's easier. I mean, it's kind of easy if you know how what's going on.
Yeah, if I know what's going on, then
This
it's
one's easier
easier.
than doing the other guy.
Yeah. But if I
But
don't, then it's like,
take a look at it though. Like the one thing I always say is like you need to like just experiment. Like I've given this to you. Like
mm,
you have this now right here, right?
right.
And then all you have to do is look at the output and try to like fill in the gap. Like how did the output become the output?
Okay.
So like you know that this guy became grouped by the sup and the dose because you did this. If you maybe
Okay.
you wanted to just do it by sup,
Mm-hmm.
you could do that as well. You could just do this. It's by sup, and there's 30 of them. See?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, let's move on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. You remember? Okay, so this other one, I think it is good because do you remember we did the contingency tables, the conditional probabilities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess like because the one thing is that it's such a great topic actually. I wanted to go over something similar. Hold up. Something similar to like,
Okay.
do you remember like this was a lot of it was in an exam actually, where you're given like a table,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And from this table, you have to figure out some probabilities. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't really cover like the I guess the theory. I think did it make sense though? Like how if someone were to ask you, I want to know how many people have like for example, let's look at this guy. Maybe let's answer some of these questions,
Okay.
and then let me know if something seems unclear. So, what if you wanted to find the probability? Can you see this?
Yes, I can see it well.
Okay. What if you wanted to find the probability that a person is like the probability that person is a car phone user, so or a cell phone user, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tell me how you would do that, just to review it.
Well, I will have to look at the table and see how many people use cell phones in the car.
Which is this
So,
guy, right?
yeah.
And then you just divide it by this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they did. That was the easiest one. We know that one. That's just called total probability, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what about this one? Find the person had no violation in the last year. So like,
Um,
I mean, this one is also an easy one. I think that you don't. It's just doing this guy over this guy. But then it gets harder. What if you wanted to do this one? Find the probability. And there's an and here now. There's an and here.
and was a person had no violation in the last year and was a
Our phone
car
user.
for the user.
Yeah. When it's and, do you remember? I didn't really talk about this. It's like, it's like when you have this. Can you see this?
Right.
So what if you had like A and then and B, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this notation before? I think this is helpful because I know you like to focus in the data analytics, and then knowing concrete like probability is like Very crucial. So when you see and right here,
Yeah.
this is an
Is that
This is an intersection, right?
yeah. Okay. You
You've seen
intersection.
this before.
Right.
Okay, very crucial because this is like the ones that are used in the codes. So P and B. So A is this guy, right? And
Yes. Okay. There you go.
right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So when it's and, or what do you call this? An intersection.
Intersection.
So an intersection is the same as an and, right?
Yeah.
So an intersection, what do you do with the probabilities? You times
So
them, right?
yeah.
So you times this guy by this guy. So let's see. So let's see if we get the same thing. But in this case, let me see if that's this. Yeah, it should be the same thing. So P of A, what is the person that has no violation in the last year? What number is that?
If the person had no violation last year,
Let me see if that's the same number.
it's the
680.
two the 280.
And then it should be the same number. Let me just check this one. It's 685. It's no violation. It should be this guy.
Yeah, 685. Yeah. Total.
And PB is a cell phone user.
The cell phone user is 755. No, 305.
Okay, it is the same. It is the same. But okay, so no way, because the theory should reflect the table, right?
Right.
I just want to make sure that like what we're doing in the table matches the theory. So when you have an intersection, an and, you're supposed to multiply them, right?
Right.
So let's do it. Let's see if so the answer, if you didn't do the theory, what is the answer? When an intersection between person had no violation and was a car phone user, it's just 280 divided by 755, right? It's just this guy divided by this guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. If we did it like so, that number is like, let me see, 280 divided by, it's slightly different, but then the theory is still good. So it's supposed to be this guy. And then if you actually calculate this guy, it's like 0.37, right? 0.37, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's actually do it the mathematical way. So if you just did the P of A, the P of A in our case is let's see, no violation in last year. No violation. So it should be 685 divided by 755, right? Right? And then the next thing is you times it by P of B. So the P of B is the probability that they are a car phone user. So it should be 305, right? Divided by, oh snap, I have my iPad. 305 divided by 755, right? So if you actually did this whole thing, you would get somewhat similar answers. It's like, I mean, it's slightly less, but essentially it's the same. So yeah, that we didn't really cover that, but I'm pretty sure you guys covered that one, right? Did you guys cover that?
No.
How did you guys read this table off? like given this? I think like
Are
knowing
you asking about the equation?
the table, like did you guys cover like the equations of intersections and unions?
Yeah, but I
Kind
was
of.
busy doing assignments. I was not paying attention to the teacher.
Okay.
Yeah,
That I think it's good that we cover this because this is
yeah,
like I said,
because I missed it. All the new things that I missed that because I was busy doing assignments.
yeah. I think the one thing, if there was something to stick, this would be the one. Like
Okay.
I guess I'm telling you because I've seen the application. Like if you were to just remember anything in the class, try to
Mm,
remember this one. This one's
okay.
actually the most important one. So let me see. I don't really like how it does. Okay, so that's the one, right? That's the and. That's the and.
Yeah, that's the end, number three.
And is the intersection. What about the or?
That's the one you put the U in between.
The union. This is the union. The or is the
Yeah.
union, right?
Yeah,
Or the U. A is U of B, right?
right.
And then this guy is called the union. This is the union. So to distinct, to make it different from the and. So remember the and. Like I want you to like really see it because it's so like it's quite awesome. Like I don't know, like I like how it looks, like and how these like compare.
Mhm.
Because if you have the intersection, remember we times it, right? We multiplied it.
Right.
So for a union, you don't multiply it, you add it.
Ah,
Yeah. If I like people usually don't like explain it that way because they just brush off it. But that's the difference. That's the main difference between the union and
and
the
the intersection,
intersection.
intersection.
You add the union like this guy.
Oh,
So now, what would that be then? Let's try to look at what that would be. So what was PAB? Or actually, this is different. So A in this case is a person in a car phone, or
mm,
is a car phone user.
yeah. So that would be the first one.
The 305, I think,
The 305.
over
Okay,
755, right?
755.
And then what is PB?
Then PB would be
No
person
violation.
had no violation, so no violation would be the 280. Let's see
It's
here.
just that guy. It's
Yeah,
this guy, right?
yeah, that's the total is 685 over 755.
I think you have to minus something. Let me see if this is correct. Yeah, you have to minus something. So the other thing I forgot is so when you have, I mean, like it can get very theoretical,
Mm,
but like you only do this, the PA plus PB, if you have with replacement, if they're like independent, if they're independent. So like, does A affect B in our case?
mhm.
I think A affects B, right? Like
Right.
if you're a car phone user, if you're a car phone user,
And you had no violations.
yeah, like it affects it, right?
Yeah.
So in our case, it's not independent; it's dependent. So you've probably heard this is not mutually exclusive.
So this is mutually exclusive?
Not.
Not.
Yeah. So the independent is mutually exclusive.
Gotcha.
So if it's not mutually exclusive or dependent, you have to minus the intersection. Does that make sense? I'm gonna write it down first. So like if it's not mutually exclusive or dependent, you,
Then you
besides
minus.
besides adding them, you actually have to minus their intersection. you have to minus their intersection. Does that make sense? So what was the intersection? It's the multiplication of them, right?
Yeah, intersection is the multiplication.
I'm just gonna, so we the shortcut to doing this, the intersection, instead of doing the multiplication, is just look at where the intersect, obviously, right? Like just look at where there's a car phone user and then no violation. It's this guy, right?
Right.
So okay, so this is the intersection one, and then the PB. What was the PB? PB is no violation.
So that would be 280 over 685.
280 over 60. Let me see. It's not really. You gotta take a look at it. I think that's the shortcut. The way you would do it is I would just follow this guy.
Okay.
This is because if you do the shortcut, sometimes it goes wrong. But if you actually follow this, this is more of the theoretical. That's why I wanted to go back to it and redefine it this way.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the more formal way of actually reading a contingency table. Okay, so if you just follow what this says, let's look at it. P of A, car phone user is 305. So you did 305, right? Divided by 755. And then you add it like the person with no violation. 685 divided by 755. And then what do you subtract this guy? It's the 281, right? Is this 281? I think there was actually no question where that they asked you for or. That's why like I know there was one with and there was one with given, but there was no or question. Okay. So if you do this, your answer would be this guy. It's actually I'll just show it. It's this one right here. So they did this one, right? 305, 685 minus the intersection. Does it make sense?
Let's see. 710 over 755. Yeah, so the 280 is the intersection.
Yeah, that's like when they intersect in the contingency table as well. Okay, the ones that like I know we covered in class, like you guys class, I think in the homework.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about intersection, right? We talked about the union, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that's mainly covered is the given, the conditional one. Let me put that another way. So what if, and this is what we call the relative probability.
Mm-hmm.
Relative probability is when you just read it off this guy, off the column or off the row.
Mm-hmm.
There, let me look at this. So if you look at this number 5,
Mm-hmm.
this one is saying what is the probability that the person is a car phone user given the person had a violation in the last year. If you didn't know the equation, how would you do this one?
Person is a car phone user.
Yeah, and then like the
Given.
population. Remember I said about the fraction.
Mm-hmm.
So what goes in the bottom? This guy, right?
Had a violation. That would be
685.
685.
Yeah, this usually goes in the bottom, right? Because we're only focused in the person having a violation. Or had a violate. Oh wait, no,
Wait a minute. No, it's not
685.
It's 685 is the one without a violation.
It's the other one. It's
Yeah.
it's this guy.
The 70.
Yeah. Speed violation in the last year.
in the last year.
And then what about this other guy?
So then the other portion would be a car phone. That would be the 305.
The car phone user would be the 25.
The 25?
Yeah. This is how you usually read it. But like if see? But let me explain why.
Okay, gotcha.
So like if you this is how we read it before. I'm pretty sure, do you remember like when they tell you like in all the people that had like this, how many are they? You usually read it through the column or the row, right?
Yes.
But there's an equation that you could just refer back to, like because you know the formal way is remembering the equation. Is this is that equation, and I think if there's anything that you have to remember, this is the one because this is called the main Bayes probability, whatever. So this right here is written like this, and let me put letters to it. So A
Mm-hmm.
is the guy with the phone, the car phone, and then B is the guy with a violation. So like this is how you do this. What is the
Okay.
probability of A
Mm-hmm.
given B?
Given B.
So there's a line. What's the probability of A given B? And then this is the equation. So it's the intersection of A and B over what you're given. Over what you're given. This is a very well-known equation. This is called Bayes' theorem. Bayes probability. And you're gonna use this so many times. So how you this is exactly what we applied, right? This is a fraction, right?
Right.
What was this guy? The intersection? It's just
Uh,
it's this guy, right?
that's the guy that's the 25.
Where they intersect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what is this bottom guy?
The bottom guy
It's like everything.
is like everything in that area.
And then this is what the equation is. What we did was pretty much the equation. We just didn't formally apply it. But if you wanted to, like, or if you remember the intersection, like, yeah, you could use the table, but what if someone asked you to calculate it? What was it again? How do you do the intersection?
A A times
PB,
B.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so like instead of reading 25, you could have done what is PA? What is just the phone guy?
So that will
This
be
guy.
the total.
Yeah, that would be the total. 305 over 755. And what about PB? The violation.
PB would be
This guy,
7.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Person had violation in the last year. It's 70 over 755. And then this would just be this guy. If you did this, it would be exactly what you have right here. Does it make sense?
No, it's now confusing me. Why sometimes we put this other over, sometimes we put 305 over 755.
Okay, you only put the for the most part, what I would do is if you're given something
Mm-hmm.
like this guy given,
Mm-hmm.
if they ask you given or like within a population,
Uh-huh.
just use this over this. It's pretty much the same. It's actually over 755 if you think about it. Look, like everything is over 755. What I'm trying to say is this 25 right here
Mm-hmm.
is actually 25 over 755. And then what about the bottom one? What is the bottom one?
Then the bottom one
70
is,
over 755, right?
yeah, 70 over 755. Okay, I got it now.
But what happens to the 755?
Mm-hmm.
It's all over 755. It's just a shortcut that I always talk about. The shortcut is when you can just do this over that is the same thing when you're given. But what I wanted to do here is I wanted to formally define the equations of or, and what was or? Union? Or was union, right?
Yeah, union. Yeah, or is union, and that is intersection.
And then for union, you have to add them, right?
Yeah, you add the unions and you
And then
multiply.
for the intersection, what do you do?
You multiply them.
And then for the given, you apply this, right?
Yeah, you apply. Let's see here.
The given one, the given one is a more complicated one.
The given one is the one that is confusing me.
Okay.
Um,
But so you want, let me
so
see.
let me ask you.
Okay.
So the given one.
Okay. It's the most important one, actually, the given one.
Okay, so write it on the other side because now my face is blocking the stuff you write over there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I can't tell
My
it's like 'cause
picture.
I have it somewhere else.
Yeah, you can write it on your right hand side.
Right or left?
To your right. That would be your right.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that guy, let's actually do number 6.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Let's do number 6. Tell me what it is first. So let me write it. So P,
Okay.
and this is A, right?
So it's telling us find P person had no.
Let's define the givens first. What is P of A and what is P of B?
Okay.
What is P of A?
So P of A is no violation.
So what number is that?
And no
This
violation
guy.
is the 685.
Okay, what about P of B?
P of B is the 70.
P of B is given as P of B person was not a car phone user.
Oh, was not, sorry. Was not was
This guy.
the 450.
Yeah, 450. Okay. So we have those. Those are the most important. So let's define the Bayes equation. Bayes conditional theorem. So this is a given one. So in the population, you could answer this the way that like we did before.
Mhm.
And what is that? What is that? So for you could have just done like person was not a car phone user, right? So out
Mhm.
of the car phone users, which one had no violation? So I would just do the easy way. The easy way would be just to
Mhm.
take 405 divided by 450. That's the easy way.
405 divided by 450.
Yeah, because that's the population.
Okay. So
But
that's the population is 450.
yeah, because given you're given it like out of all those people, how
Yeah.
many out of all the people that didn't have car phones,
Mhm.
how many of them had no violations? That's like the question, right? That's like the qualitative way. The equation way. It's always good to know both because like when you're coding this,
Mhm.
you need to know the equation. That's the reason why I want you to know the Bayes theorem.
Okay, got you.
Because if you just know the qualitative way, you can't code it. It won't be general.
Okay.
It'll only work sometimes. So when you do so let's do the quantitative way. So we're
Mhm.
given P of A, right? Right? This is the P of A, right? This guy.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then P of B is this guy, right?
Mhm.
So how do you write the equation again?
So that will be P
Of A
of A,
and given, which is a line,
and that is
given B
given B
equal
equals
what goes on top, the intersection, right?
at the intersection.
So if you do like this over, and what goes on the bottom?
That would be B.
Good, yeah. Okay. And then so with that, we could just read this off, I guess, from the table. The other way would be to write this a different way, right?
Okay.
Is the other way would be what is the intersection of PA and PB? What is that? PA right
Mm-hmm.
times P of B. And then so like if you read that off the table or use this, you're gonna see that this is just 685 divided by 755. And you times this by 450 divided by 755. So what is that? 685, 755, 450 times 755. And what is PB? It was not a car phone user. Was not a car phone user. Okay. 450 divided by 755. And that's what you have. It's the same number. Did you get that one?
Let me do it. Distance 450.
It's the same number, really. 405 divided by 450. Did you get 0.9?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's the one. That's the answer. It's 0.9. Okay, I guess we'll cover that again once it comes up. I just wanted to like point that out.
Yeah, this is very important
It's gonna be important once if you guys will cover
because
like
I really want to know these things that
the
way.
background, yeah.
Yeah, the background because I'm not gonna know anything up there if I don't know something like this.
Right? Yeah. But like I just wanted to show that so that like when you see it, you know it, Like once you
Right.
guys you know what you have to use it for.
Yes.
Okay,
And I
let's
like
see.
the way you explained it too.
Okay, let's just for the time that we have, maybe like let me just show you Python.
Right.
Okay, did you try to download this? Maybe I'll down. Did you download this yet?
Yeah, Anaconda, yeah.
Okay, and then did you install it?
No, I haven't done that yet.
It's actually
I
really
just
fast.
download.
Try to like
Okay.
install it and see. Yeah, like right now, and it's like I just want to know what if you install it properly
Okay, cool.
because I want to see a working Jupyter notebook so you can follow through like my lessons.
Okay. Would you like to give me the screen back?
Actually, yeah, let me do that. Yeah, go
Okay, there you go. So then I can look for the downloads.
ahead.
And then my stuff is everywhere.
Oh,
Uh, no, I can't even find it. It's okay, I can get it from here.
can we see it? Or like, can you share your screen?
Let's see here. Manipulate data. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I just want you to actually install it, and then we'll cover the Python lessons next time.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
These are the ones I downloaded today.
Go to the, what about the Anaconda one? Did you download the actually,
Mhm.
yeah, try go to Anaconda in Google. I sent you like an email, I think.
Yeah, you did, and I read it.
Let me
Now
see.
I can find it. Let me go to that Google. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Um,
Oh, there you go. Anaconda. Go to that one, the last tab, Anaconda individual. It's up top.
is it this one
Not like go to the go up top.
up top? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and then go down. Go down all the way down. I think it's all the way down. Oh, yeah, actually click on download. Click on download. It's not actually the right page. Try to go up. And then download should show up. Download right there. Scroll down a little bit. It should be below this guy. Your data. Scroll down a little bit. There you go. Download. Oh, is it that one on the bottom? Right there. Windows. Scroll down more. It says Windows right there in the bottom. There you go. Go up. No, not that one. Go up. Right there, 64-bit. Is yours a 64-bit or a 32-bit?
Yeah, 64-bit.
Go to the Windows one though. The Windows one. The other guy.
Oh, sorry. I didn't get.
Try go back to that. You have to go back to where you were.
Where was
Try go back because you don't want the 32-bit. You want the 64-bit one.
the 64?
Yeah, because yours is 64-bit. Try go back. Okay, there you go, 64.
This one right here.
Yeah, yours is 64, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Just ignore that first one. Just wait for that second one right there. Yeah, this one's a little bit complicated but then you only have to do it one time.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. Is it done? One more minute. Okay.
Did it stop downloading?
I already have mines.
Okay, 30 seconds left.
Almost.
And now we.
Yeah, see,
Mhm.
like with a solid state, it would be done like instantly.
Okay.
If you had a solid state, it wouldn't take that long.
If I have what?
Solid state. Solid
Oh,
state. Drive the thing, yeah.
Oh, that's the one you told me to go get.
Yeah. If you can later on.
Yeah, I can look.
Solid state is the best one. Like if you're wanting, because like everything is faster, everything is super quick.
Yeah, this one is really, 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 really slow.
Okay, it's done almost. Let's see.
Okay, there you go. And
Click on
I'll use the 32-bit one.
try
The
click on that one. Yeah.
okay.
Um.
There's no opening up.
Try double click it.
Opening. Okay.
There you go. I agree. Just keep on clicking. Yes. Next or whatever. Just okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I think this one shouldn't take that long. So after this one, you're gonna open up like a command prompt called Anaconda.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if it doesn't take that long though.
Okay.
Okay, good, 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 good. Oh man, this is taking a lifetime.
It's stuck now.
Yeah. Let me see. Because like this part is not bad, but
Yeah, it's not moving an inch now.
yeah, usually it doesn't take that long. But after it's done, you have to go to Anaconda prompt. I think if you type this in Anaconda prompt 3,
What am I gonna do once it installs?
after it's done installing, just type in Anaconda prompt 3
Anaconda property.
prompt, and you're gonna see that one Anaconda prompt. It's like a control panel or not control panel. It's
Control
like
panel. Mm-hmm.
what is that called? The MS DOS console.
MS.
Let me see. It's like a command prompt. It's like a command prompt.
Okay.
It's gonna look like a command prompt, but it's not that one. It's for Anaconda. And then you have to type in this thing in there. Do you see that
Did you
one?
send it?
I sent it in the chat.
Uh,
Anaconda install the and then C Conda Forge notebook. That's what you have to do.
Alt H.
I don't know why it's taking a lifetime. Try closing your other windows.
Okay, so Anaconda prompt 2.
Is it done? Is it done installing?
No, no, yeah, it's stuck exactly where it is. It's not.
Try closing your other windows.
Close all the other ones.
Yeah, like I think it's taking up memory.
Okay, so I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close this. And then this.
Or like RStudio. Try closing RStudio. That's the one that's taking a lot of.
Okay, so it's gone.
The RStudio one. Try closing that one. Yeah, this one's taking a lot of memory.
Why is it all widescreen?
Just exit out because it's taking a lot of memory. Just
Ah,
just exit out of it. Exit. Yeah. Is it working? Do
oh, my machine is really slow.
you know how to like control delete it? Oh, okay. Now it's showing up.
Close it.
Close it. Yeah. Why isn't it closing?
All right,
There you go.
and it's closed.
Okay, go back to the installation one. Is it done? Anyways, yeah, just wait for it until it's done, and then the, this is what you have to do. Just look for the Anaconda prompt.
Yeah, Anaconda prompt 3, and then conda install dash c conda dash fudge.
No, but yeah, just type that in there. Type it in there.
Type
Like
it where?
inside the prompt, the Anaconda prompt. Is it better if I show you?
Yeah, show me.
Okay. I think let me share. So do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the one thing you have to do is after it's done, go over here and then put an Anaconda prompt. You're gonna see this right here. Click on that, and then this is gonna pop up. Do you see this? And then all you have to do is take what I just did and what I paste on the chat, and then like copy and paste it here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna run it though, because I've already run this. I already ran it. But then after you're done,
Mm-hmm.
the next thing is open it again after it's done, and then like type in Jupyter Notebook. And when you type in Jupyter Notebook, it's gonna show like this. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
And once that's done, it's gonna give you this guy, and then like I'll tell you how to navigate this next time.
Okay.
You know, you could, this is how you get the Jupyter Notebook where you could do these things. And this is Python right here. All right. I guess yeah, let's talk on Monday about this. And then
Okay.
can you send me all the Python stuff,
Yes.
homeworks and whatnot?
Yeah, I'll shoot them over to you right
Okay.
away.
All right, Mary, have a good one. Have a good
You
weekend.
as well.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Bye.